All right, everybody, what is going on? Good morning. Happy Monday, start of a new week here, and we've got another player to look at here. And if you guys have been following this series over the last few days, you know where this is going. You know what we're going to talk about. That's right, Beau Stevens. One of the most interesting players we got in this draft simply because we gave up a future fourth-round pick to get him, which implies some degree of belief that he is something of note. So let's get into the Beau Stevens stuff a little bit here. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. So Beau Stevens was a player that I knew the Seahawks seemed to have some degree of interest in pre-draft. And he was a player that I did look at quite a bit and a player that quite a few people commented on as we went up to the draft process. And so far, it seems like he is being envisioned as a right guard at some point. And that's very interesting because obviously the Seahawks have a little bit of a issue at right guard. I don't hate Anthony Bradford, but he's got problems, big problems. And even if he's the guy, he only has 1 year left on his deal, and I don't think that's a guy you bring back. Anthony Bradford is probably gone after this year. If he's here for 2026, by the way, that's not even guaranteed. But Beau Stevens is seemingly in line to take over for Anthony Bradford either now or later, because even though he spent most of his career playing left guard, we're moving him to right at least some of the time. We haven't given away exactly what the splits are going to look like, but it looks like we view him as more of a right guard than a left guard by some amount. So that makes him compelling because we gave up a future pick in a very good draft, a better draft than this one, to get him. So let's pull back the curtain a little bit on Beau Stevens. He is a guard, left guard, right guard, maybe some center. We haven't shown that yet. Would not shock me if he ends up doing center stuff at some point. Iowa, played at Iowa his whole career, 23 years old. Will be 23 when the season starts. He is tall, 6'5.5", which we don't necessarily love around here. Lineman playing tall is a problem. Pretty decent size, 315 pounds, which would be a little bit light for a right guard, but that's kind of good in a zone scheme. Although that's a little bit mitigated by the other stuff we're going to get to here. So 58th percentile in weight for a guard. Very short arms, agonizingly short arms, 31 and 1/8 inches. That is first percentile. That's a problem, people. Now, it's possible he got shortchanged a little bit by the combine this year, but it's still very short. And very small hands too, by the way, 9 1/4, if we care about that, 8th percentile. So he's got some real size problems. And he's not really much of an athlete. In some way, Beau Stevens is the anti-Anthony Bradford. Bradford is an excellent athlete, but he really struggles moving in space consistently. Beau Stevens is not a good athlete, but he's very comfortable and natural in space. 5'3", 540 is 35th percentile, which is, I mean, it's certainly below average, especially given the fact that he's only 315 pounds. 182 10-yard split is about average. Again, for a zone scheme, you typically want better. A 28-inch vert is average, and that's okay, but you'd want better. And an 8-foot 6-inch broad jump is also about average. You want to do better. So right away, we have some issues with Beau Stevens, and we'll see if he can overcome them. But again, there are positives here. If you like sports, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using the PrizePicks app, where it always feels good to be right. PrizePicks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players and build lineups with a few taps. Whatever sport you're into, and obviously we are now firmly into the NFL offseason, so we're all about baseball. We got some basketball, we got some hockey, whatever it is you like. PrizePicks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. Definitely make sure to use the promo code HMA. PrizePicks is hooking up users with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. If you use that promo code, that is HMA. I've had a great time on PrizePicks so far, so definitely get on over to it, check it out, and make sure to get your lineups. And don't forget about team picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So download the app now, use HMA, and get on over to Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. All right, so let's take a look at his career here. There's not a ton, but it's a pretty good amount of experience. 2021 was his first season in college football. Played one game, only 16 snaps, didn't give up anything, nothing really happened. Mostly at left guard, 13 snaps at left, 3 at the right. 8 run blocking snaps, 8 pass blocking snaps. All of his run blocking snaps came in a zone blocking scheme, and that'll become a theme as we go through here. And he graded out well, but it's 16 snaps. It doesn't mean anything. I don't think there's anything to take away from this. So 2021, just kind of a, the red shirt year. 2022 is where things get a little bit serious. He played in 12 games for Iowa, almost 400 snaps. So that's like what, 33 snaps a game, something like that, 33 snaps a game. And now we got something. We got a little something going here. Still not a full-time player necessarily. And this was the one year where his pass protection was really leaky. It was bad. And that makes sense why, right? 4 sacks allowed, 1 quarterback hit, 7 hurries, which on less than 400 snaps at right guard is not really what you want to see. And this was one of the years where he played at right guard, by the way, which, I mean, if you want to try to read into that, that's not a great sign that the one year he played at right guard was the year where he was really leaky in pass pro. He also had 5 penalties, but the thing is, he was inexperienced at this point in time. We don't know what this means yet. So we're going to have to see how he does here in that capacity, but pretty much exclusively right guard here, 5 penalties, pretty rough. A little bit more pass blocking than run blocking, by the way, which is very rare for Iowa. Iowa is a run-first team. And when they did run, it was almost always zone. 134 zone, 30 gap snaps. So really one-sided there. Did not grade out well. His run blocking was decent, but his pass blocking grade was bad. A lot of stuff he gave up. And the overall grade was sub-replacement level. Now, 2023, I believe he was battling some injuries, and he was never really able to get out of the starting gate. He played 5 games, but only 70 total snaps. I think he was actually a backup for a good chunk of this season. I don't even think they were starting him at any point, based on what I could tell. 70 snaps, mostly at left guard, but a decent amount at right guard too. Allowed 1 quarterback hit and 1 quarterback hurry, and that's it. A lot more run blocking than pass blocking, 45 to 25, and more zone than gap, 27 to 10. And the grading was bad, sub replacement level, and the pass blocking grade's really bad. So at this point, it doesn't seem like there's a lot there, but then we get to 2024, and now things start to snap into place a little bit here. He plays 11 games, excuse me. So he did actually miss a couple games, more injury stuff, and injuries have been a problem for him in his career, but did play 612 snaps, so he was out there for over 50 snaps a game, so basically a full-time player now. No sacks allowed, 2 hits and 5 hurries. Only the 1 penalty as well, which is really good. So big improvements here. Now, he played every snap at left guard. So did he become a better player, or did he just find his natural position? We don't know yet. Mostly run blocking because it's Iowa. 360 run blocking snaps, 252 pass blocking snaps. Way more zone than gap, 262 to 78. And he graded out well. 71.1 overall. Pass blocking grade's good. Run blocking grade's good. Good all-around player. Ready to go in 2025 and try to have his big breakout year. And 2025 was a breakout year for him in many ways, and this is why he was a 5th-round pick. And he's not athletic enough to be much more than that, but for a guy like this, being a 5th-round NFL pick is probably about the best you can do. Played all 13 games for Iowa, 682 snaps, so full-time player. I don't think he got hurt at all this year. No sacks allowed, no hits allowed, 4 hurries. Really phenomenal. Very rarely did he allow any leakage into the backfield. 1 penalty all season long. So very clean, very good form. Didn't allow anything too bad to happen. And remember, Iowa's offense is not good. It's not like he's got some wizard quarterback back there who's evading all the pressure. No, he doesn't have that. He's doing great. Every snap was left guard. More run blocking than pass blocking. 378 to 304. Zone, again, big favorite here. Not quite as big as previous years, but 236 to 99. So a lot more zone than gap. And he graded out great. 84.9 overall, elite pass blocking grade, really good run block grade. The guy was good. So the numbers tell us that 2025 was a very good year for Beau Stevens. And it's not just the grading, it's the raw pass rush numbers. It's the fact that Iowa is a team that leans so heavily on the run and is able to get away with it and not be completely wiped out. They don't have a great passing attack, and the offensive line leads them to have success as a ground team. So you look at his career, he didn't play a ton, but he played a good amount, right? Like Christian Haynes played a lot more than Beau Stevens in college, but Beau Stevens played more than a lot of guys. Like Anthony Bradford, remember, he only was a starter for like a year and a half, not even. 42 games, almost 1,800 snaps, allowed 4 sacks, 4 hits, and 17 hurries, but most of those were that first year starting. 7 penalties, but 5 of those were in that first year starting. The last 2 years have been almost completely clean. 2 hits, 9 hurries across how many pass blocking reps? 556. 556 is that is something that I'm happy to live with, especially with 0 sacks, right? And only the 2 penalties. Mostly left guard, played a lot of right guard early. Almost 1,000 run blocking snaps, almost 800 pass blocking snaps. So you're looking at something like, not necessarily something you're going to see in the NFL, but it's not a bad thing for a team like this that is run first. The Seahawks are. And way more zone than gap. Like for every 1 gap snap, there's like 3 zone snaps. More, actually, I think. Slightly more. So those are the numbers for Beau Stevens. They are quite good. There are concerns here, like he only really had 1 great season, and he did miss games in previous years with injuries, but he paints the picture of a player that peaked in 2025 and has a lot to offer. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. That is Beau Stevens by the numbers. More stuff coming soon.